Hello, you're welcome to Language and Literature Lab. Today we'll be talking about voiced and voiceless plosive sounds. Voiced and voiceless plosive sounds. Then plosive sounds are consonant sounds. So before we will get to the major topic, let's talk about consonant sounds. You know that consonant sounds are the opposite of vowel sounds. Vowel sounds are those sounds that when we pronounce them, there's no obstruction in the air passage. Like you pronounce a, u, o, or let's just say a, e, or u. Those ones are vowel sounds because there's no obstruction when you pronounce them. There's no obstruction in the air passage when you pronounce them. Because anytime you pronounce any word, air is released. Or anytime you pronounce any sound, air is released. But when there's no obstruction at all in the air passage, like when the air that is being released does not have any obstruction, the sound that you pronounce are called vowel sound. Why when the air passage, that the air that is coming out when you pronounce a particular sound has an obstruction, the sound that you pronounce are called the consonant sound. So today we are going to do the first consonant sound, like the first group or the first classification of consonant sound, called plosive. Have you ever noticed that we don't pronounce cats and dogs the same way, even though they both end with s? I don't know if you've noticed it. Today I'm going to teach you Today I'm going to teach you plosive consonant sound and explain why some of them take s when you pronounce them, like why some plural words that end with s, why some of them take s sound and some of them take the sound. I don't mean the writing now, because when you are writing them they all end with s, but when you are pronouncing them, there are some that you when you pronounce them, the ending, that s will be pronounced as the s will be pronounced as the normal s sound, while some, the s will be pronounced as the z sound. Then, like I said before, the meaning of processor is not even that important. It's not as important as the knowledge of where to where to use s, like where to use this sound and where to use the z sound in plural words, even though all of them end with s, even though all of them end with s. Then examples of plosive consonant sounds. There are just six. Three are voiced, while the remaining three are voiceless. Then the voiceless ones, those ones are voiceless. Then the other ones, ba, da, ga, da, those ones are voiced. So let's go to the classification now. We classify consonant sound into three. We classify them according to the manner of articulation. That's number one. Number two, according to the state of the glottis. That state of the glottis means the state, like it means whether the sound is voiced or voiceless. That's the one that we are treating today. Then the third classification is the place of articulation. So the manner of articulation means how the air comes out. So that's why we call it plosive, because the air comes out with a complete obstruction. That's called plosive. Complete obstruction of the air passage when you pronounce some consonant sound. So the consonant sound that you pronounce with complete obstruction of the air passage are called the plosive sounds, and they are what we are discussing today. Then the state of the glottis means that particular sound that you are pronouncing, is it voiced or voiceless? So how you will know whether a sound is voiced or voiceless is when you are pronouncing it. You put your hand in this place called Adam's apple. uh you put your hands there, you feel it when you pronounce the voiced sound and when you pronounce the voiceless sound. The one that has a vibration in that your Adam's apple is called, the one that has a vibration in that in your Adam's apple, that's called the voiced sound, while the one that doesn't have any vibration is the voiceless sound. Now, is voiceless, while ba is voiced. So you can just memorize it. So even if when you check with your hand, you will not feel the vibration, you can just memorize it. Is voiced, is voiceless, while ba is voiced. And they are both articulated. That's the place of articulation now, the third one. They are both articulated, or they are both pronounced with the two lips, that is the upper and the lower lips. That's why they are called bilabia. That's upper and lower lips. That's two lips. So this place of articulation means the organs of speech that is used to pronounce these sounds. So for and ba, we use the upper lips and the lower lips to pronounce them. Then the next one, the next set of plosive sound, the f and v, they are both plosive sound. Remember, it's just plosive sound we are talking about today. They are both plosive sounds. Is voiceless, while v is voiced. Then they are both pronounced with the okay, with the upper teeth and the lower lip. So that's why they are called labiodental. So remember that the f is voiceless, while the v is voiced. Then the next, which is the last set of plosive sound, the k and g, and g. The manner of articulation is still the same, plosive. Then the state of articulation, k is voiceless, while g is voiced. Then they are both pronounced in the lower part of the tongue, like as if you are going down the throat. That's the velum. They are both pronounced with the velum, so we call them the velar sound. So now remember that is voiceless, is voiced, then is voiceless, is voiced, is voiceless, while g is voiced. So now, since you now know all those ones, you now know that yes, we have the 6 plosive sounds, 3 are voiced, while the remaining 3 are voiceless. Then, to pronounce the plural sounds, any plural words that end, you know that yes, the regular plural nouns, sorry, the regular nouns, they form their plural sounds by adding s, like by adding either s, es, or ies, but they all end with s. Then in pronouncing them, if that word that you add s to ordinarily end with a voiceless sound, you know that as you are pronouncing that s that you are adding, that s will be pronounced as the normal sound. But if that word that you are changing to plural, that word that you are changing to plural, that word that we add s to make it plural, if it naturally ends with a voice sound. Remember, we talked about the voice sound before. We talked about the ba. We said that ba is voiced, v is voiced, then g is voiced. So if any of those words end with any of the word that you are changing to plural end with this voice sound that I just mentioned, just know that that s that you add to it is going to be pronounced as z. For example, this one is the example. Those ones are the examples of words that end with voiceless sounds. So that s is still going to be pronounced as s. For example, cat. You know that t is a voiceless sound. It's a voiceless sound. It's a voiceless sound. So that's why you pronounce it as cats, caps, books. Then the last one, voice plosive sound, that you pronounce the s as z. Dog, dogs, dogs. That s is pronounced as z. Then bed, birds, because bed ends with d, and d is a voice sound. Then bag, bags, 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 because g is a voiced sound. So that will be the end of today's class. If you have any question, you can just write it in the comment section, and do wait to subscribe to my channel so that you'll be notified anytime I drop any lesson. Thank you.